Hello, Miss Sarah. Hope you and John are doing well this evening. Miss Libby, hope you and Mr. Jerry Paul doing well over Penny Creek. Miss Leanne, hope you're well. Praying for all you ladies. Thank you for checking in with us on a Friday evening. Probably hear some bush hogging going on down the road, but maybe it won't be too much. I think we can talk over that. But thank y'all so much. There's my mother-in-law. She checking in, make sure I'm behaving. My daughter Caitlin, my sweet wife Angie, thank y'all for checking in there too. Hey, Miss Wilma, hope you're doing good today. Been a beautiful, beautiful Friday. Beautiful Friday. Hey, Lisa, good to see you again tonight. Hope you're doing well. While we're checking on, as always, please feel free to share any prayer requests or praise reports. We'll be glad to do that. If it's something that's just an unspoken request just between you and God, feel free to just say, I got an unspoken request. That way we can join you in praying tonight. Hey, Miss Sue, good to see you tonight. Also, praise reports as always. I want to give an opportunity each time we do our devotion for those, because it's very important that we pray for each other and intercede before God on each other's behalf. And also, it's equally important that we celebrate when God is blessing and God is doing great things, and we see that all around us. Hey, Miss Mary Merrill, good to see you tonight. Thank you for chiming in here. Sandra Brown, good to see you tonight. Thank you for signing on. Shelby, good to see you again tonight. Hope you and Mike, the family, doing well. And that renegade preacher's son-in-law of yours, Jeremy, you keep him straight. No, he's a good bud of mine. I love Jeremy to death. Him and Amanda, special people to me and Angie. We've watched them just mature into fine Christian leaders and servants. So you pray for them. But good to see y'all tonight. Thank y'all for checking in. While we're waiting, please know you can share prayer requests, praise reports, and we would love to join you with those. Hey, Miss Rose Marson, how are you tonight? Thank you for checking in. We'll give just another minute or so. We'll not take up too much of your time here on Friday evening, but Friday evening front porch, what better place? Thank you, Miss Mary. We appreciate you very much for checking in. If anybody does miss it, always know you can go back, share it. If you think there's something that said it might be a blessing and encouragement to someone, please feel free to share that. Feel free to encourage others to watch with us, because our goal is to encourage you. It's always to help you, not to hurt you. And so we thank you so much for your being here tonight. We'll wait just another few more seconds, and then we'll get started with our devotion for tonight. And certainly it's been a beautiful, beautiful day. Beautiful day. Hey, Miss Brenda, good to see you tonight. Thank you for checking in. Appreciate you doing that tonight. And let's see, there's Miss Libby. Good evening again. We love Miss Libby and her family. I hope you're doing well tonight. Just a few more seconds here. But I do hope y'all have had a good day, and I hope you have enjoyed this week. I think we've got some pretty weather. I think we're going to have it all weekend. We'll warm up real nice tomorrow, mid-80s, so that's good stuff. So we're looking forward to that too. Miss Carla, good to see you tonight. Thank you for checking in with us. Just a couple of things I'll mention to you by the way of just getting started, and then I want to share just a little encouragement from the Word with you. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 8 and following say these words, and I want to share them with you, and then we'll come back and talk about it just a little bit in a few minutes. Paul said to the church at Corinth, he said, therefore, so that I would not exalt myself, a thorn in the flesh was given to me, a messenger of Satan to torment me, so that I would not exalt myself. Verse 8 says, concerning this, I pleaded with the Lord 3 times that it would leave me. And verse 9 says, but he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is perfected in weakness. 2 Corinthians, last part of verse 7, verse 8, and verse 9. We'll mention something about verse 10 at the end here in just a few minutes. So I want you to think about what Paul is dealing with there. But just to kind of keep you updated with all we've got going on. Hey, Miss Diane Grice, good to see you tonight. Keep praying for your family. She's got a request there. Please read that, and I'll read it at the end so that I can pray with you too. But do keep in mind as we head toward this Friday, head toward Sunday, the Sunday school lesson will be live at 9 a.m. Brother Glenn Hyatt's going to be teaching that lesson, and it's going to be a great lesson. I know you're going to be encouraged tremendously by being a part of Sunday school. And then at 10 o'clock for worship, I encourage you to tune in. Brother Winston's going to be leading our worship this week, and I think he's got a little Big Daddy Weave and a little Mercy Me and an oldie but a goldie too. He's got 3 beautiful songs that I know will be a blessing to you and encourage you on Sunday. So make sure you tune in at 9 and 10 on Sunday morning. Also, for our HBC family, most of you, I hope, by today have received your letter, your 3-page letter from my desk to you, talking about plans for preparation for reopening and also a response card. I hope that you will take the time, please, to fill that card out. One of 3 options that we're looking to do once we get the go-ahead to reopen, an 8:30 service, 10:30 service, and continued online. And whichever option you pick will be a blessing to us, because we just want to stay connected with you. We understand that, if you're not ready for that to be in person at this time, when that time comes, we fully understand, and we're going to continue to reach out to you by way of the internet service. But do know, as I told you, that we are making plans now. There's going to be a lot of cleaning and preparation done in the coming weeks, because we think we're still several weeks away based on what we're looking at now. And along with that, do keep in mind that if you choose 10:30, that the building will be cleaned again between services. We had to leave enough time for that. So there'll be cleaning before, cleaning between, and cleaning after. So there'll be a whole lot of cleaning going on. But anyhow, we're going to do everything we can to make everything as safe as possible for every person who attends. But please either return the card, go online to our website. You can respond that way. That little card's there also, has a tab for it. And also, if you would, you can do that through the Facebook page. So either way is fine. We'll get your response, and we'll be able to figure out how we can make plans for distancing and work things out like that, okay? We do thank you for helping us and being patient with us, because this is something none of us has ever had to deal with before. A little bit ago, I read 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 7, 8, and 9. And when I was reading those words this morning in my quiet time and writing in my journal, and I want to encourage you, I got my journal right here, please use a journal. I cannot encourage you enough. Use a journal. I've got several that I've saved for my family. They're in my safe deposit box, and somewhere down the line when I'm with Jesus, my girls will probably read a lot more about my journey than they ever knew was going on. But nevertheless, I just hope I can leave something behind that will help others and encourage others, and that's the purpose of documenting your journey. But when I was thinking about it, I don't know about you, but many of you probably like me, every 3 months, once a quarter, I get a statement in the mail or an email to let me know that my updated retirement statement is available. And this one was one I wasn't really looking forward to opening up. I mean, because, everything was right along really good in the last half of March. The bottom fell out. So I finally got up the nerve to open it up and look, and to my shock, I was exactly right. It was bad. It was real bad. But through all that, God uses these times to remind us that we can do all the preparing we want, we can do all the planning we want, and we can do all the saving and things like that, which is a very wise thing to save for retirement. But when I looked at that statement, I realized that a lot of things that I thought would be there on down the road, boom, gone that quick. And it reminded me how quickly things can be gone, and how important it is for us to realize that God is using the good and the bad in our lives to bring out His very best for us. I was thinking about how Paul was very clear when he said, I've got this thorn in my flesh. Now, I've read a lot of scholars, commentators, and theologians who have speculated, which is the only thing you can do, on exactly what that thorn might have been. We can speculate, we can guess, we can debate, whatever, and it's really not worth it, because here's the point of the matter. The reason it's probably not mentioned is because if it was mentioned, people would think that would be the only thorn. But you and I know that there are a lot of different things in this life that become thorns in our flesh. We have things we like, things we don't like. See, I couldn't believe when Angie and I first started dating, she moved here from North Texas, and they didn't eat mayonnaise on their sandwich. I thought, who in the world that was a born-again child of God doesn't eat mayonnaise on their sandwich? So anyhow, that was always funny. I love mayonnaise. I mean, I thought mayonnaise went on everything, but nevertheless, she didn't like mayonnaise. It took me a while to get used to that. And, you know, seems like after 33 years, I ought to be used to it by now. So I am. But, you know, people have things they like, don't like, but we all have things that agitate us and aggravate us in this life. And we all have things that Satan uses. And here's what he tries to do. God allows him sometimes to use things to become thorns in our flesh. And Satan begins to think he's really getting to us. But what he don't understand is that God is using him to bring out the best in us. That Satan is actually thinking he's taking us down when God is raising us up. So this thorn in the flesh that Paul said that he had, here's some things he said about it. He said, it was a messenger of Satan to torment me, and listen to these words, so that I may not exalt myself. Wow, that's some big words, because Paul could have been a proud guy. Before he became a Christian, he was a very prideful man. We talked about how he was humbled and how he was radically saved and transformed there on the road to Damascus in Acts chapter 9, and how that experience transformed his life because it transformed him from the inside out. Oh, I believe it's very important for us to understand that. It's not an outside in. It's not what you scrub on the outside makes you better on the inside. It's when God radically takes over your life, and when he begins to indwell your life and heart through the person of the Holy Spirit. Through that, he begins to work his goodness, his grace, and even his glory from the inside out, so that God can use us for his eternal purpose. I wrote several things there. He also said goes down in verse 8, he said, I pleaded with the Lord 3 times he'd take it from me. I don't know about you, but there's been things that have been thorns in my flesh before that I pleaded, oh God, take this from me because it's more than I can bear. But the point of the matter is simply this. Some people take 1 Corinthians 10:13 that says that they think that the Lord said he would not put on us more than we can bear. Some people take that and think, well, if this came, Lord must think I was big enough by myself to handle it. And that's not true. There are things that come into my life and yours that are far bigger than we can bear alone. But there's nothing that comes into our life that we can't bear through the good grace of a sovereign and holy God. When he takes over, it makes all the difference in the world. He said, Lord, take this away from me. I can't take it. But God was using it to make him more like Jesus. And then he said, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is perfected in weakness. Therefore, I will most gladly boast all the more about my weakness, so that Christ's power may reside in me. I don't know what thorns you may experience. I don't know the things that may affect you and the things that may seem like that they're more than you can bear. But I promise you, we all have them. We know what they are, and we've got to give them to God so that he can use us for his glory. Tony Evans says, if not for the weakness that God allows us to endure, we would lack opportunities to seek his sufficient grace and experience his perfect power. I read this today too. God knows how to teach us to pray. He puts us in situations where prayer is our only option. Did you hear that? He allows us to be in times where prayer is the only option. I don't know about you, but if I'm honest, I'll tell you, I've prayed a lot more in the last 7 weeks than I did before. And I'm ashamed to tell you that, but I'm also glad to tell you that, because God has allowed us and put us in a situation where prayer is not, he's not a spare tire. It is our first resort, and God teaches us that through most difficult times. Let me read verse 10 of that chapter, and then we'll be done. But I want to read this verse because I believe the Lord just used Paul to bring his message all together. Look what he said in verse 10 of chapter 12, 2 Corinthians. He said, therefore, I will most gladly boast my weakness. That's verse 9. Verse 10, so I take pleasure in weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and in difficulties, for the sake of Christ. For when I am weak, then I am strong. You know, I can be very honest with you. Over almost 27 years of pastoring and 34 years total ministry, you know, there's been a lot of times, I've been in a lot of situations when all I could do was cry. I've been in times when all I could do was worry. I've been in situations where I didn't know how I was going to get through it. I didn't know how I would make it to the next day. And there were so many things along the way, you know, they're heartbreaking. And anybody, if you have anybody in your family, a close friend, or somebody you know and love that has served the Lord for any period of time, they're going to tell you there's some stuff that'll break you down. But you know, when we're broke down and we get to our knees and we get humble before God, that's the best place for us when our heart's broken. But you know what I've found to happen over the years? Over the years, and I heard a wise preacher say this one time. He said, son, you know you've got victory over the pains of your past when you can laugh about the things that used to make you cry. And I can't tell you the times I've been on the lawnmower, or I've been weed eating, or riding on the four-wheeler or something, just riding down the road in my truck, just me and Jesus. And I'll think about some of those things in the past that hurt me deeply. And sometimes I'll think about the situations, I'll think about a lot of things, maybe I should, but here, I'm just as human as you are. But all of a sudden I'll find myself begin to laugh about those things. And I don't laugh because they weren't serious, and don't laugh because they weren't important. I laugh because I realize that God used it. God used it. God sometimes used the messenger of Satan to help me be broken and be humble so that I would never be tempted to exalt myself. Oh, that's so important, friend. If we learn anything from the Apostle Paul from this text tonight, don't exalt yourself, because I want to tell you, it's very, very important you understand. The Bible teaches when a man thinks he stands, take heed lest he fall. None of us are too tall to fall. And in times of crisis, let's let this draw us closer to God. Let's build an altar. Let's get right with Jesus, and let's realize that all those things, you know, I meet people throughout my ministry say, well, I won't go to church because somebody hurt my feelings. I won't go to Sunday school because somebody hurt my feelings. I won't sing in the choir anymore because somebody made fun of me or whatever. Listen to me. You got to rise above that stuff. You know why? Because that stuff will not matter in eternity. They are robbing you from being used by the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. I think back over the times I've had my feelings hurt and I've had my heart broke. And I've realized that it's not my strength that kept me going. It's not my strength that'll keep me going tomorrow. It is the power of Christ that dwells in us. Through my weakness, His strength is made perfect. Friends, I just thank you for chiming in here with us tonight. And just know that I'm grateful to God for you. All of you matter to God and you matter to me. And I want to encourage you every way I know, because I know you need it. Hey, y'all encourage me by being here. Because if you weren't listening, I'd just be talking to myself. But that'd be all right. I used to do that. You grow up as an only child, you get pretty good at talking to yourself and counseling yourself. But nevertheless, just know that I love you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. God bless you. Have a great Friday night. We'll check in for a few minutes tomorrow night. Get ready for Sunday. Go ahead and get your heart ready. Get your mind ready for worship so that you can receive from God and you can go respond as God is leading you to do, and you can go into a world that desperately needs Jesus. The world's going to start opening back up a little by little over the next few weeks. And as it does, you're going to get more and more opportunities to tell people what Jesus has done for you. God bless you, friends. Have a great Friday night. Look forward to talking to you tomorrow.